My name is Nick Benson, and I did special makeup effects on Night of the Demons. I'm I'm very ecstatic that this film is, or still has, the following that it does, because I mean it's so nice. Like, I never thought anybody would even know who I was by 2016, that's for sure, or by now. Like, and it's really nice to connect with the fan base that has built over the last 35 years, and it's pretty incredible to me that people have sought out the people that made this film, all of the artisans that got together, and whether they did a small piece of it or a larger piece of it or acted or produced or whatever, the fans are pretty emphatic, and I think that it's really nice to be able to personally connect with them on that level. I got involved with Night of the Demons. It's kind of a crazy story. I was actually roommates with Steve Johnson at the time, and in a band. And he and I were talking about different things, and one of those things happened to be stage effect type things that I wanted to do for my band. And Steve had kind of shared some information with me about Night of the Demons, and that was the movie he was going to break away from Boss Film and get out on his own, and invited me to come take part in making monsters with him. Some of the things I was working on were casting teeth, painting teeth, casting makeup pieces, all kinds of stuff, dummy heads, dummy bodies. We had a lot of stuff to cover for Steve's designs. Steve's designs were pretty vast for a film of this budget, so it was quite impressive what he was able to do with the budget he had. So there we were at XFX, 1987, doing test makeups for Night of the Demons, and they chose me because of not because of my size per se, but because of my weight. My weight was more matched to what Amelia's was, so Steve wanted to take his design for Amelia's makeup and apply it to me. So I believe it was Kevin Brennan who did the makeup on me, and it was an interesting process. It's always good, I think, for a makeup artist to understand what they're putting on somebody, so it was a real good experience for me to go through that process and understand the patience that's involved in the application process and the painting process, and having to sit there while it all gets put on you and painted, and then fitting your teeth and everything. So quite an interesting process and an exercise in patience and understanding. But it was a very good experience, and I'm glad I did it, and I think the makeups looked amazing. Kevin Tenney is a hilarious guy to work with. He has such a quick sense of humor, and he's very funny. Great to work with, knows what he wants to see. I do appreciate the way that he works. I did not get a lot of interaction with him, but what I did was quite fun. Some of my favorite effects in the film are Suzanne when she claws out the eyeballs. The burn makeups were pretty amazing. I don't know, there's so many in that film that are so good. I really appreciated the simplicity of what we did with Angela floating down the hallway. There's a lot there. Well, Steve Johnson being my roommate at the time was quite an interesting position to be in. Steve was quite a madman, and in the best ways. Like, he worked really hard, we worked really hard, but then we also partied really hard too. So it was very little sleep, but a lot of fun, a lot of ridiculousness, a lot of creativity, and I was there like a sponge just to absorb everything that I could and learn even more about, like, maybe the next project we would go on to.
This house is not haunted, it's possessed.
Possessed, man, haunted, come on. Who gives a shit?
What's the difference between possessed and haunted?
A haunted house is a house with ghosts in it, the spirits of people who've died. But the spirits living in a house possessed have never existed in human form. They've only existed in spirit form. They're pure evil. They're demons.
Kids, come on. You can't really believe this place is possessed.
Nah, just repossessed.
Yes.
For tonight, anyway.
When I first went to the premiere in LA with Steve and everybody else, I thought it was good. It was fun. It was definitely a fun ride, but I don't think that I had quite the appreciation that I have for it today, because at the time there was so much horror being made, and I felt that there was so much of it being made that this film wouldn't even be remembered in 5 years. And I'm just ecstatic that it's still got such a huge following, and that it is, or has been, treated as the epitome of an 80s horror film. I think it became such a cult film because, in the 80s there was a lot of horror being made, and I think that Kevin's work as a director and the creators of the story and the effects and everything, kind of, it's that perfect storm. Everything came together with what is now obviously the perfect storm, or mix of everything. I mean, it had humor, it was scary, it had great effects in it, and that were really, believable. And it just, like I said, it's just that perfect mix.